Welcome back to another episode of The Debrief. Myself, Eric Immesberger, retired ATF. What we're going to talk about tonight, and anybody in law enforcement is going to instantly just get this immediately, and this is the crazy off-duty incidents. You're a member of law enforcement. Something has occurred either right in front of you or next to you, and it demands some type of action. It's not a thing that you can say, well, they'll figure it out. Maybe I can just go my own way. These are the things that happen that they demand some type of response. But you're off duty. You're by yourself or with your family. You don't have a portable radio. You don't have your vest. You don't have your squad mates. But you got a problem that has erupted right in front of you. I'm going to talk about a few of the crazy incidents that has happened to me. And a lot of my guys would tell me that I had the black cloud syndrome. And this is going back decades, where there could be 40 people off duty in a town, but the incident is going to happen in front of you, not the other 39 or 40, you. So these are a few of the things. And if you're in the academy right now, or a brand new officer, a brand new agent, or you're thinking about it, listen up to this stuff, because they're not going to try, they're going to drill it into you in the academy. Off-duty incidents turns into off-duty problems, which then turns into attention from your supervisors. Most likely it's going to be in a negative way. So these are incidents that you're behind the eight ball before you even start, that whatever you do is going to be looked at by your superiors in whatever department you're with, are going to be looked at negatively from the outset. They're going to be like, what was so crazy that you had to insert yourself off duty, no vest, no partner, no backup, no portable, no nothing? What was going on that you had to get involved with that? And several times I was the person that was explaining why I had to get involved with this. And the more you get in the job, the more you realize how horribly wrong these incidents can go quickly, just like you're on duty, but even worse because you're off duty and you don't have all those things that we just went over. So let's dive into it. And these have happened as an agent, as a detective, police officer. But I will start, actually the three incidents I'm going to talk about tonight were all while I was in ATF. And so not only you're a federal agent, but there is a assumption by your bosses within ATF that you are going to be able to think fast enough, correctly enough, and you're going to have good judgment to know what you have to do versus what you don't have to do. We would often get talked about this action imperative. Just because something is occurring, it may not necessitate you to do something immediately. Always evaluate, do I have to get involved personally to stop something, or can I call 911, get the troops coming, get the real police coming, and let them deal with it, and you're just going to be a good witness? A few of these, they went in both directions, but I guess I'll start with the least dangerous situation. And this actually happened after I retired. So I guess I was not only off duty, I was no longer a law enforcement officer, but I treated it almost as if, because after like 3.5 decades, do you really know any other way? So here it is. My daughter, my youngest child, is having a birthday party. And this is like a big deal birthday party because she's not 5 or 6 anymore. She's a little bit older, and she wants to have a birthday party at a restaurant that caters to outdoor sports. In particular, they have pickleball courts, handball, badminton. I mean, it's a big day. I think it's called Chicken and Pickle, which is I know that sounds like a crazy name, but out here in Kansas City, that's actually a place to go. Adults, kids, doesn't matter. And if you're a parent and you want to have the date night conversation, but yet you still have your kids, you can go to the Chicken and Pickle. You and your wife can be at the bar eating a great chow. Send your kids to the pickleball court with like $20 in their hand. You're not going to see them for 2 hours. It's actually genius. But But anyway, kid's birthday party. She's got 10 of her closest friends. They're playing pickleball. They're eating. They're doing the whole thing. I have to drive my daughter and like 3 of the friends back to our house from this location, which is a solid 16, 17-mile drive. And as I start every awesome story, it was blue skies, beautiful afternoon. It was great. What could possibly go wrong? So as I have my daughter in the front seat, 3 of her friends in the back seat of my truck, and they're talking, I'm driving. But when I merge onto Interstate 35 northbound, maybe 1,000 yards in front of me, I see this awesome blue Camaro, 30, 40-year-old Camaro. I'm like, oh, look at that car. And having had a few of them, I'm like, let me try catch up a little bit. It's a 2 lanes going northbound. The Camaro is in the right lane, and it's next to an 18-wheeler truck. Neither one are passing each other. They're just next to each other, driving like 65, 70 miles an hour, flow of traffic. And this is what I see. The Camaro starts going off the right shoulder, back into the lane, off to the right shoulder, back into, it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, this guy's boxed at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon on an interstate, no less. So now I'm like, now I do want to get a little closer. So I get maybe 150 yards behind this Camaro, and the same thing. Now, my daughter and her friends are oblivious. I'm focused now on this Camaro. I'm like, look at this guy. This guy's going to run into this truck. Sure enough, off the right side of the road, comes back into the lane, and then back of the tractor trailer that has the 8 wheels together at the back, boom, right into those wheels, and there's like an explosion of blue Camaro parts flying in the air. No reaction from the truck. I don't even know if the truck realizes this guy just blasted into his tires. So now I move to the number 1 lane, and I can see the complete side of the Camaro is just bashed in from running into these tires. And he's still driving, and nobody's making any move to pull off the road. Truck keeps going. The car is now behind the tractor trailer, and now it's going into the number 1 lane, into the number 2 lane, onto the shoulder, back into the number 2 lane. So I'm like, you know what? 911, which in that area goes into a sheriff's office. I tell them very quickly, they transfer me to the highway patrol dispatcher, and I narrate what I've just seen and what I'm watching. And it was a heads up radio operator that I'm talking to. So she instantly understood what's going on. And she goes, okay, where are you now? And I'm describing. I said, oh, he's jumping off an exit now. It was actually exit 16, which dumped onto a 4-lane road in each direction, highway 152. Huge intersection coming up. So I tell this dispatcher, I'm going to stay behind this car, and I'm just going to narrate where this car goes, vector in some marked units, and I'll keep eyes on them until they get a second unit and, call it a day. She goes, oh my God, that's great. That's great. So this guy's going up the off ramp like 15 miles an hour. Everybody's going around him, and he's drifting still. I'm like, there's a red light at the 152. There's no way this guy's going to stop for the red light. He stops for the red light, signals. Look at this guy. Light drops. He makes a westbound turn. I telling all this on the phone, and she goes, okay, I got 2 cars on the way. They're racing over there. They should be there in like 5 minutes. Okay, good. I'm going to stay behind this guy. I'll tell you where he lands. He then goes like a traffic light or 2, makes a southbound turn, and there's a huge commercial area. There's like a Walmart super center, which he pulls into. So I'm on the phone, and I'm like, yeah, I'm still behind him. It's heavy traffic. And I said, all right, he's just driving laps around the parking lot in this bashed in Camaro, and he pulls into a spot. I said, okay, pulled into a spot. Here's where it is. If you tell you guys, look for my kind of jacked up pickup truck, it's like just east of where I'm parked. That took a long time as a cop from New York. Everybody talks east, west, north, south. I'm on the north side of the building. I'm like, how do you even know that? But the difference of being in New York, the corner of, here. But anyway, so now the Camaro guy is pulled into a parking spot. Now my daughter and all their friends are now focused in on this little, secret little observation game we're playing, and they're into it. So bad guy climbs out the passenger side window, and he's struggling to climb out the window. And I'm like, well, of course he's struggling. He's boxed. He's probably like a 2-0. He's wrecked. And he gets out of the window, and he's just standing there as the first highway patrol guy gets there, and then the second highway patrol guy gets there, and they cuff this guy up. There's not even there's not a struggle, not an argument, not a nothing. And I give my information to one of the guys, and I'm like, yeah, if you need anything, observations leading up to this, just give me a call tomorrow. Yeah, good to go. Thank you so much. And I leave, think nothing of it. Well, the guy calls me the next day, and he goes, we all thought this guy had to be wrecked. Like, they go, no alcohol, no drugs, nothing. However, and there's always a however. The however was that this guy, who was in his 30s, had this massive stroke like a year before, and he wasn't permitted to drive anymore. Like, he did not possess the dexterity to operate a vehicle, and he knew that. And he's like, just like me, it's a beautiful blue sky, sunny day. Let me just go out for a drive in my Camaro, like the good old days. And when they asked him, hey, look at the side of your car, it's like smashed in. There's black rubber from these tires from bumper to bumper, and your mirror's missing, the door pan. I mean, your car's destroyed. He goes, I guess I must have hit something. No recollection. So they go like, you're not supposed to be driving. He goes, yeah, I know, but. So that was that. So again, to the younger officers, you may think you have A, and then when you look into it a little bit, it's not A, it's B. And that's what this was. But, once it's in your blood, it's in your blood. Anybody else might have just said, oh, wow, that was an awesome accident. Let me stay behind him, see if he crashes into the next truck that he gets next to. This is great. Everybody get your phone out. We're going to video this. And then there's some people that'll call 911, just report it this way. Well, I did the 911, and I'm going to follow the guy at a distance because now I got 4 teenagers in the car. But it's hard to turn the switch off. Like, who cares? Even retired, we still care. So technically, I'll put that into off-duty / retired / still cares. Interesting. The next 2 stories are going to involve violence. And what do you do when violence visits you or somebody that's in front of you? What are you going to do? What are you prepared to do? Sometimes, to the new officers, you may want to write this one down. Sometimes your best may not be enough. You may have to do what's required. Let that sink in. So I'll leave the most violent incident for the last story. So incident number 2 is, I had a lot of different vehicles in my ATF days, but this was when I was living in Suffolk County, Long Island. I was the resident agent in charge of the Long Island Gun Crime Violent Task Force. And it's just a long night. It's maybe 10 or 11 o'clock at night. I'm on the way home. This is what I see. I'm stopped and I'm driving a Crown Vic, basically a police vehicle. Back in when this happened, the Crown Vic was still like the coin of the realm. If you didn't have a Crown Vic, what did you really have? And this particular Crown Vic I had was like a UFO light show. Like it was just red and blue lights everywhere, which was awesome. My task force lieutenant, NYPD lieutenant, him and I were like, sort of like, hey, we want to make sure that we're seen. So him and I, we had this like kind of ongoing back and forth contest, like who was going to have more lights in their unmarked car. I would say it was probably about a tie because we had a lot. But anyway, driving home, I'm almost home. I'm like 5 blocks from my house, which is always where these things are going to happen. I'm about maybe the 5th car back at a red light. And this is the intersection for you Long Island cops, Veterans Highway and Lakeland. So Lakeland is a north-south Vets Highway, massive east-west road, and they intersect right at the Islip Airport. Big intersection. So I'm on Lakeland facing northbound. I'm going to make a west southbound turn onto Vets Highway. In front of me is a car. In front of this car are a guy on a motorcycle. And these are like, they fancy themselves, half outlaw motorcycle guys. But I look at the back of their jackets and each one has a 3-patch patch. And I recognize the name on the back right away as a support club of the Hells Angels, which at that time, they were the big dog on Long Island. Good. Even over the noise of their bikes, I can hear that one of them is screaming at the car in front of them. Light turns green. Nobody moves. The car they're screaming at doesn't move. They don't move. The guy in front of me is like kind of hostage to the situation. And then I see the guy in the car they're yelling at. He leans out and he's yelling back at them to the point where one guy gets off the bike, goes up to the driver's window, and now he's trying to drag this guy out of the car. I'm like, okay. The guy in front of me realized, probably not a good place to be right now. He just goes into another lane and he's gone. So now I just pull up. Now one guy's still on the back of his bike. The other guy's off his bike and he's trying to drag this driver out of the car. And it's clearly not a road rage incident because the guy now in the car, he's a victim. This is not a like back and forth. So I turn my UFO light package on, which instantly gets everybody's attention, hit the siren a little bit. And there's no stoppage of violence now at the driver's window. I get out and I'm like, hey, stop, don't move, police. That's, police don't move. To which the guy on the bike still turns to me and says, get out of here, mind your own business. I mean, clearly Crown Vic, lights, law enforcement. I've already said police don't move. And I've got my neck chain around my neck. Like, get out of here, mind your own business. Okay, this requires some type of intercession. So I say to this guy, I'm like, keep your hands on that bike and don't move. And by the way, I'm an ATF agent. To which the guy on the bike, now his head spins around and he's like, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were ATF. The guy playing Twister at the car window, he immediately lets go of this guy and says, hey, dude, I didn't realize you were ATF. I'm sorry. I'm like, fantastic. The guy that was in the car just takes off, gone. Guy's on the bike, ID him. I'm like, what was that little thing about? They're never going to tell me. I'm like, okay, well, you know who I am. And now I know who you are. You may want to go home and have some ice cream and thank your lucky stars you're not going to jail tonight. Because I said, hey, you, the other guy you were yelling at went left. I suggest you guys go right or north. Or door number 2, I can just call Suffolk County and they would love to come and deal with you too. So what do you want to do? They wisely chose to leave. Unbelievable. And you know what? I'm going to throw in the bonus story because Suffolk County PD, if you're on this little convo, you're going to love this one too. Lakeland Avenue, where I was at the intersection of Vets Highway, behind me, half a mile, is Sunrise Highway. And just north of Sunrise Highway is a 7-Eleven. 24 hours, 7 days a week, 7-Eleven. And it's a chronic problem location. It's a parking lot drug sale location, kids hanging out, fights, anything that goes wrong, it usually has a connection to that 7-Eleven parking lot. But I get a call from my wife and she's like, hey, I know it's late. It's like 11 o'clock. This is like a different night. She goes, hey, can you just stop at that 7-Eleven before you get to the house? We need milk. Okay, fine. Same Crown Vic. First, I take a hard look at the lot. There's nobody hanging out on foot. I'm like, okay, good. I'll go in and out. So I park my Crown Vic next to a black BMW, beautiful BMW. And I can see that there's a driver sitting in the BMW. And I can see that he's smoking crack. Beautiful BMW, not a kid. It's a guy like in his 40s. I'm like, I don't believe this guy. This is crazy. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do the right thing. Get on my radio, get on Suffolk County. Hey, can you just send the car over here? Here's what I got. We'll just interview this guy. Well, as we used to say, it's a ground ball. It's like smoking crack, observations. We're going to lock you up. Your car's going to get towed, seized, and all the rest of it. I roll my window down. So now I know that I've got a marked car on the way. So I just roll my window down And I'm just staring at this guy. I'm like, is he even going to look that he's got this Crown Vic sitting next to him? He finally does look over. And you get the reaction. And he goes right back to smoking crack. I'm like, okay, we have to be a little bit more official now. So to avoid the car chase, I pull behind them, I bumper lock them, and now I turn my UFO light show on because I know the Suffolk County car is like 30 seconds. I can already hear him. I wait for him to come. He gets behind me. I give him the 10-second story, and he goes, what? We go up. The guy's still got the pipe in his hand. He's got I don't know, $100, rock zips sitting on his thigh. And this Suffolk County officer that showed up had been NYPD, rolled over into Suffolk County to basically triple his pay. And so he's loving life. He's like, I haven't had a chance to do this in like a while. Boom. So he's like, didn't you see this unmarked car sitting like right next to you? He goes, yeah, I saw it, but I figured, he's just a guy by himself. He's not going to bother me. Okay. Now you're under arrest and we're going to call a tow truck and you're probably going to get out in like 3 days and, on and on it goes. This guy was also just stopping to get a quarter. That's what his story was. And he goes, and I'm the manager of this big Harrows store, like up Vets Highway, like right next to the Costco. I'm like, this place is huge. You run it? I'm like, what's wrong with you? Fast forward 60 days, you're going to lose your car. You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose everything. What's wrong with you? Yeah. So he got locked up. I went and got my quart of milk and went home. Had a good story to tell. So here is the most violent of the off-duty incidents that probably the most violent potential that I had to do something with. And of course, it involved my daughter again. It's like the good luck charm. This is when I first come out to Kansas City. So this is like 2014. So I got my daughter in the truck. It's a Sunday morning, blue sky, sunny day, beautiful. And it's in the fall. I remember it was like September, October. And I had to go to a pool place to get a bunch of stuff to close our pool. And my daughter is like, she's like 3. In a car seat, and I see a Dairy Queen, and I'm like, I've been waiting for this moment. You've never had a blizzard. Today's the day, kid. You're getting a Dairy Queen blizzard. It's awesome. You're going to love it. I'm so glad for this moment. So I pull into the Dairy Queen parking lot. I pull up to the sidewalk, so I'm like 10 feet from the front side door of this joint. And this is like the dad moment. It's like, oh, this is great. It's me and my little girl. She's going to experience the first blizzard. I'm getting ready to take, the selfie pictures and the whole thing. So I go around to the passenger side of my truck, get her door open, and I'm unbuckling this, these crazy cars. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that anymore until the grandkids come. And a car, this is an almost empty parking lot, but a car pulls up directly next to me. Doesn't come like, it doesn't brush me back. It's like, I'm thinking to myself, what's wrong with you? Big empty parking lot. And so I take a quick glance at it. It's a 4-door sedan and it's got limoed windows. It's got tint on the windshield. This is broad daylight. I cannot even see shapes in this car. Like, fantastic. So I get my daughter out. I'm like, let me get away from this car. And of course, I'm armed because I don't mow the lawn without a gun. Go everywhere. If you're authorized to be armed, you have no reason not to be. I go into the Dairy Queen and I order the Blizzard. As soon as I walk into Dairy Queen, this car takes off. Good. Get the Blizzard, got my daughter, I'm carrying her. And just before I'm going to get out of the Dairy Queen, car pulls back in to the same spot, right next to my truck. It's like 50 spots and he's parking right next to my truck. What's wrong with this guy? And a Dairy Queen worker, male, comes out. So this is right before I've exited. He goes up to the driver's window, which rolls down like 2 inches. A cigarette box comes out. He grabs it and he goes back inside. I'm like, and the car takes off again. Like, okay, just hit him off with, whatever, who cares, gone. Pulling my daughter back in, car pulls in next to me again. I'm like, okay, here we go. So I quickly get my daughter buckled in because now I just want to get away from this. I walk back around, get into the driver's seat. Now my truck is pretty high, so I'm looking down at this 4-door sedan, which is on my passenger side, which my daughter is on the passenger side too. And this occurs. Same guy, Dairy Queen employee comes back out, He's now at the driver's window. Driver's window comes down about 4 inches. I can now see there's at least a passenger in the front seat also. Dairy Queen kid comes up to the driver's window. The driver immediately puts his hand out of this 4-inch opening, except he's got a pistol in his hand, and he puts it right to this guy's face. So I'm like, okay, check, 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 check. This requires an immediate intercession. Life is in the balance. I go through like, should I back up? There's no time for anything. This kid, in my view, is about to get executed. I now have my gun coming out of the holster, and I'm going to take a very controlled 3-shot group, angled down, only going to hit the driver. Before I can do that, pistol goes back in the window goes up, and the kid, the Dairy Queen kid, had zero reaction to any of this. And he just walks back into Dairy Queen like none of this just happened. I'm like, and now the car's not moving and the windows are up. I back out. I drive. If they were casually looking, it looked like I drove out of the lot, but I knew where the back entrance to the lot was. So I go into the back entrance. So I'm at a distance, but I'm watching. So now I'm like, okay, I know this police department, North Kansas City Police Department. They're super squared away. I get them on 911 and I say, I'm off duty, but here's what just has happened. The car is still there. Here's the plate. There's at least 2 people, but it's limoed out. You can't see inside the car. And the driver, at least the driver, had a gun in his hand. They're not moving. They're just sitting there. And nobody's come back out to this car. They go, can you stay on the phone until we put our response together and just continuously brief us on what's going on? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I am at a very safe distance away from this. Good. So now they're getting my information and they're also briefing me on what they're going to be doing. So they said, listen, just give us a second. We're going to get 4 cars. We're going to pin this car in and we're going to just order everybody one at a time out of the car. I said, awesome. My kid is now eating a blizzard, oblivious to any of this. I'm like, great. So they come in. It's like a textbook response. They all have long guns. They're ordering these kids out of the car. 4, I don't want to say kids. They're like in their 20s. Cuffed. They're all laid out on the parking lot. The cop goes into the car, 1 gun onto the roof, another gun onto the roof, another gun onto the roof, 3 handguns. The sergeant waves me over because I've described the good guy is in this vehicle. The bad guy's driving that car. I'm driving this car. I'm the good guy. Didn't want any confusion. Good. And so he waves me over and he says, hey, can you take a look at these guns? I said, yeah. So I look at them. They're replica firearms. So they're not actually a firearm that can shoot bullets, the projectiles. They are like movie prop guns, airsoft guns. If they had that gun in their hand and we were having a thing, that's a gun all day long and you're going to lose your life over, I had a fake gun. Well, I had a real gun. And guess who's writing that report? So now the sergeant has taken on my sense of disbelief at this whole thing. And now he's genuinely angry at these kids. And he stands them all up and he's like, see this guy right here? He had a real gun. And you, Mr. Driver, you were about 1 second away from getting killed. And the only reason you didn't get killed is because you pulled that gun back in the car and this agent had the good sense to create distance, get his daughter away from this. And it's the only reason that you're still alive. Like several other Midwest gangsters that I've run into, they still had a little modicum of respect drilled into them from somebody in their family. And now he's like, sir, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I almost made you shoot me. He's apologizing for this, incident. And I took the high road and I said, okay, teachable moment. And I say, you want to play these kind of games, you're going to run into somebody like me with a real gun who is going to think you have a real gun and you're about to kill this kid. So every beer is a victory beer now for you. I'm sorry. And I think if that sergeant had asked him to write like a 1,000-word essay apologizing, he probably would have done it. But they had some minor amount of narcotics in the car. So I think 2 out of the 4 wound up getting hooked up. But crazy. Sunday morning, Dairy Queen, the first blizzard experience that I'm like, to my daughter, I'm like, you're gonna love this thing. This is great. And I tell her that story, and I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember that at all. And my daughter, like, she has me bring her to Dairy Queen enough that I feel like I paid a mortgage on that place. Not the same one. But how crazy is that? It's like off-duty terror. It's really the only way to describe it, because I ultimately would have had a justified shooting, but there would be a little piece of me that would have to live with that I killed a kid that had a fake gun playing around. And the ultimate thing that came out is I just wanted to scare my friend. You almost scared yourself into a funeral. And then we got to explain to your mother that you got killed because you wanted to do something funny with a friend of yours with a fake gun next to a guy with a real gun. Think about that. My daughter doesn't remember this incident, but that kid remembers this incident. Guarantee it. He will remember this forever. I don't even know if he'll be able to go to a Dairy Queen without thinking about this. Oh my God, 12-year ago incident, 11, 12 years. So there you go. The crazy things that happen. But to the young officers, you're in the academy, you're thinking about the job, you too will have similar crazy things just present themselves to you. And you got to make quick, correct decisions, because yes, you're law enforcement, but you're off duty and you don't have your friends, you don't have a radio, you don't have a vest, you have your firearm, but more importantly, you have good sense and good decision making ability. And in most of those occasions, make yourself a good witness. And remember, when the real police show up in uniform and they get dispatched to any kind of firearm related thing going on, you don't want to be mistaken for the bad guy. And that does happen. To this day, that does happen. Don't want to be that. So what do we always say? Be safe, be smart, be very smart, and protect yourself at all times, and protect the people that you're with, family members, friends. They may not be so quick to realize what's going on. So you've got a lot of dynamics involved, a lot of things that you have to consider, but that's what gets drilled into us. Experience builds instinct, and your instinct comes from those experiences. Those, bad things are happening experiences, but they build up the instinct. And the longer you have on the job, assuming that you do the job, you're active cop, you will have the good sense on which way to go in these type of incidents. So Jake, but off-duty craziness. I'm sure that you've run into stuff like that, and just about everybody in your family's a cop. I'm sure you could fill a backyard barbecue with all those kind of stories. Yeah.
Mine was a McDonald's parking lot in Long Beach, but yeah, we all have those stories. It's like Pigpen. It just is constantly swirling around you. Now, as far as readiness, say in the face of violence, or just preparedness, especially, there was a rash of off-duty incidents, and I think one of them was someone in the academy still, wasn't it? Or just fresh out of the academy recently. You want to just talk about maybe preparedness or just situational awareness, that kind of mindset when it comes to use of force, but when it's not on the forefront of our minds.
On duty or off duty, we constantly want to evaluate, can I make somebody do something I want them to do from 10 feet away, or do I need to go hands-on? You'll instantly, again, that experience builds instinct. You'll know how to make those quick and correct decisions. But especially with an off-duty situation, always evaluate, do I need to intercede instantly, or can I be 15 feet, 25 feet away, tell someone, or get on 911 and be the best witness that the world ever saw, because you're going to narrate this whole situation. Yeah, you get 100 situations, there's 100 different situations, but you have to be so mindful off duty. You don't want to be mistaken for the bad guy. And if you're off duty and armed, just make an assumption you're in a busy location. There's going to be other off duty and armed officers. You have to be mindful of that, and evaluate the correct decision, and not something that you think I have to do instantly right now Do you have to do it? Obviously, if somebody's getting seriously assaulted, yes, you have to stop that. That's what we do, sheepdogs. But can I be back watching on the phone and give a exact cop's recitation to the on-duty cops? Here's what's going on. Wouldn't you love that if you were rolling to a hot call and Central says, hey, we've got an off-duty MOS. He's on the phone. He's giving us blow-by-blow description what's going on. Here's the description on the 3 bad guys, direction of flight. Here's their car. Here's their license plate, everything. What's it like to go on a hot call where you actually have all the information that you would want to have? You may get to be that person. And if instant intercession is not needed, be that person. Remember, this job is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And there's examples of off-duty police officers getting shot and killed just because they happen to find themselves on the X when the bad thing is happening. Just always evaluate, is instant action necessary? Or can I get on 911 and be that best witness in the whole world? Ready to act if I absolutely have to, but evaluate. Yeah, craziness.
That ties into last week's debrief when we were talking about, sidestepping the current, the flow, right? What do you say to those folks that find it like a daunting task, like, oh, they're burdened by the responsibility, as opposed to we get to be, somewhat trained.
The post office is taking applications, and hey, the job is not for everybody. And some people that squeak by and get in that really probably shouldn't be. Not that they're bad people, but for whatever reason, this is not the job for them. And everybody's got them. Some people have more than a few. But to those people, hey, just be a good witness. You wind up getting involved and you're not even motivated to even do that. Be a good witness. And then you want to get involved, or, you get the hothead response. And now instead of 2 knuckleheads, now we've got 3 knuckleheads going at it. First responding officer just wants to just put the car in reverse and, I'll be back in an hour. Let you guys figure it out. But, what do we say to bad guys when we're in uniform and confronting somebody? We want something to stop. And it's the 3 levels. It's like, you're going to ask them, you're going to tell them, and then you may have to make them. Ask, tell, make. Verbal commands can be effective given from a little distance. And as we used to say in Brooklyn, if you're by yourself and you're dealing with a bad guy, and hey, when the police show up, that's my friends showing up, not your friends, my friends. How do you think this is going to go for you? Probably not good. Or we can just start acting normal, stop whatever this craziness is you're doing. Because when the 50 sets of jangling keys come running down the street, your day is going to take a left turn, and none of it good. Or we can calm down. Everybody can live to yell at each other another day. I always like the verbal de-escalation. If possible, you can have a lot of fun with that. Sometimes the bad guy takes that out of the equation and it goes right to action. But hey, if you signed up to do this job, you signed up to do this job. And on duty, off duty, you've still taken an oath. And you should care enough that if the bad thing is happening in front of you, you need to do something. Even if that's to make a phone call, be a good witness, or if somebody's actually getting hurt, you may have to actually do what we call intrusive police work. You may actually have to put your hands on somebody and stop the bad thing from happening, which we could have another debrief just on that subject, that intrusive policing, going hands-on with a bad guy appropriately, becoming a lost art. And the reason I say that is because looking at these YouTube videos of NYPD guys getting water thrown at them, snowballs thrown at them with zero consequence, I feel so bad for them. And I feel so good that that is just a past experience in my life, because the 1990s police, Eric, dealing with that 2025 2026 set of circumstances, I would give the 1990s, 1980s response, and then I would be the bad guy. So I'm glad I'm doing something else now. And I feel so bad for the people that have to live under that going on. No support from the political leadership in these large cities. Typically, very little support from your chief administrators. Bad situation. Bad situation. But I think when you're acting in good faith and you're making correct decisions, defensible, correct decisions, you can articulate exactly why you did what you did and articulate why you didn't do B, C, and D. You did A. And articulation is becoming a lost art too. So let's put the lost art bucket, intrusive policing, and the ability to articulate truthfully a situation as it unfolded. Two lost arts. And let's put a third lost art in there too. The lost art, talking to people. It's like, I know we're getting off on the rabbit hole, but when I hear in New York City now and in the very close few years that every encounter, police, civilian, that it has to be documented. And now it always used to have to be documented on what was called a stop and frisk, a little tiny, like 4x6. You could fill it out in like 15 seconds. It was easy. And actually those forms were kind of handy when you're looking for people. Let me go into we call them 250s, stop and frisk. You might find the guy you're looking for. However, now there's an even more onerous reporting requirement for any of these interactions. Why did you approach this person? Back in my day when we would do initiatives and go with the anti-crime teams in PSA 2, 7.3, 7.5, the most encounters that we had with people were we would just roll up. Hey, these three guys, I can't articulate a particular reasonable suspicion to go to probable cause, and I'm going to throw them on the floor and rub them down. But there's nothing that says I can't talk to you. Thousands of these encounters. Hey, how you doing, sir? It's the police. Can I talk to you for a second? You know how many times I heard no? Like maybe once or twice out of thousands of these encounters. You get out of the car and you talk to them. You say, hey, here's who I am. And, I just noticed you guys over here. Is everything okay? Because we've had a lot. The conversation go anyway. It's a consensual conversation. If somebody wants to say, get away from me, I don't want to talk to you. Okay. If I have no other reason to continue this interaction, have a good night. But in the conversation, if now the conversation, I'm developing reasonable cause, now it's going to turn into what we call a Terry stop, where I can, hey, do you have anything, a weapon on you that you're not supposed to have? I'm going to search you for a weapon. And good police officer knows the law, knows the case law, knows the practical application when it comes into intrusive police work, and knows how to put that together with the ability to initiate the consensual conversation. You can have a feeling, those three guys, it's 11:30 at night. What are they doing over there? Let's go talk to them. Let's find out. They could tell you to get lost. Okay. If I have no other reason, have a good night. But a lot of times, the purpose of our conversation is, what do we have here? What are you doing? And there's nothing that says an officer can't ask questions. Now, absent any reason to further it from a police point of view, have a good night. But that conversation, in many times, you can absolutely, now you've developed a reason to search them for weapons. Or when you ask that question and then somebody starts running away from you, you may want to catch them. So what's going on? Why are you doing that? A lost art. And unfortunately, people that grew up in the lost art are now supervising people. So we have supervisors that have no depth of doing actual intrusive police work. And now if you get a young officer that actually wants to do the job, and now you've got somebody, a sergeant, a lieutenant that grew up never having done the job, or scared to do the job, or I just want to get my 20 and get out of here. And now you got this youngster that, wants to actually do the job, and, the worlds collide, usually not in a good way for the youngster. But to the youngsters that are, my God, it's almost like this guy's describing me and my squad. Hey, if you think you're in the worst squad in the world, it changes. You think you're in the best one, that changes too. But stay the course, do things right, do things legally, hang out with like-minded people, you guys become the bosses. And then you guys have a depth of knowledge, experience, builds the instincts. And now you're going to pass on the good knowledge to the youngster that was you a few years ago. And you're going to be able to guide them to correctly, appropriately, and effectively look for the bad man. There used to be a unit called Street Crime. We Own the Night, disbanded many years ago in New York. And it seems to be the way other aggressive units are going also. The anti-crime teams, the strategic response group. The mayor has said in his campaign that he wanted to end that unit. What are you going to have left? Who's going to actually do police work versus who's just going to stand there and look like the police? Are you the police, or do you just look like the police? It's a difference. But I digress. Just an observation of the old guy that wishes, now and again, I wish I was still the young guy. Do it all over again. But here we are. Stay the course. Do things the right way. Don't get jammed up, as we say, doing something stupid. And you too will be the sergeant running a team, a platoon, a squad, a crime team, if God hope they still have them in a few years. And you will be able to shape a group of youngsters in how to look for the bad man doing a bad thing. It's not putting a rocket on the moon. It's not that difficult. You just have to want to do it. You have to want to do good work. We're not going to violate rights, and we're not going to bother the working man, but we're going to make it safe for the working man to enjoy life and his wife and kids and everybody else. So there you have it. That's just one retired guy's take on, I wish I could still be out there running around. But all good things come to an end. Now I get to be the voice for the youngsters that really want to do the job. Hang in there. Hang in there. Yeah.
No shortcuts, problem solving.
Yeah. And
no shortcuts, the key there. But it also goes back to the power of the pen. You always say that.
I love writing reports. I love it. The pen puts people in jail. Learn how to write deadly, accurate reports. And here's what we don't do in a report. We don't put fluff in. We don't make stuff up. We don't say what we think was going on. We report what was going on. Get an older officer that still has interest in doing the job, that learned from people that were interested in doing the job, and they will give you good, sage advice on how to do things the right way, how to write effective reports, how to turn observations into action, and you're off to the races. And then once you start making those good collars and sitting these people down, because there's a flip side to the coin. It's not just making the collar. It's great. You made a collar, robbery suspect, fantastic. Now, are you going to do the extra work? How many other robberies is this kid involved in? Is he part of a pattern armed robbery crew? Is he out there doing multiple? He could have done 15 robberies. You got him for one. You're ready to, hit the bar, margaritas and senoritas, like fantastic. I got like a Rob one collar. I got a gun recovered. It's great. Are you giving that kid a debrief, a real debrief? Like, hey, you know how you save your money for a rainy day? It's raining. What information do you have that you want to try to help yourself now? There has to be this thirst to take a great piece of police work, a great arrest, and be all you can be. What are we going to turn that into? How many other things has this guy done that you just grabbed? You want to drill everything to bedrock, and you get storytellers. You get people that want to cooperate, even people that really truly deserve zero respect. You got the guy chained to the wall. Where's he going to go? Give those people that you think there's ways to go with them, treat them right. I don't mean like you have to take a warm, hot shower together. Just basic respect. Treat them like a man. You don't have to firm yet courteous, kind of the way to be. But if you treat this person that you've just collared, he's dead in the water. He's got no options. And you could be a hard ass and go, F you, look at what I got now. You're going away forever. What does that get you? Nothing. Give the guy respect. Buy him a Happy Meal. Sit him down with a slice of pizza. Get a soda. Say, hey, I just want to talk to you. Can I talk to you? The guy's not used to being treated like that. Probably not used to being treated like that by his own friends. And you're the guy that just collared him. Where can we go with this? What information do you have? Are you looking to help yourself? You'd be amazed. be amazed the information that you get. When you see somebody in your precinct, oh my God, this guy always gets like good information. This guy always gets cooperation. This guy has always got stuff going on. There's a reason. You have to know how to talk to people. Again, the lost art. Speaking to people, being likable, and getting information. That's where every case starts, is with somebody giving you some good information. You can't pick up the New York Post and say, where's the information that I can make a collar on? You gotta know how to talk to people, and you too. All of a sudden, you will have more information than you could possibly handle. And then when you pass some of this information off, you're a uniform guy, you get great information, you give it to the RIP unit, you give it to the anti-crime guys, say, you may want to look at this crew, this area, this corner, this whatever, or whatever unit. And you're the guy that's given good information. People notice that. You're looking to go somewhere, what do they want? A guy that just wants to put 8 hours in, 8 hours and 20 minutes and call it a day, or 8 hours and 22 minutes, whatever it is now. What do they want? The rainmaker that's always going to be trying to get a case, always trying to get information, always trying to be all they can be, drill this into bedrock. Let's figure out what's really going on here. What do we really got? That's who bosses want to get into their units. They want workers, effective workers that want to do the job. We got into all of that talking about some crazy off-duty encounters. But again, JP, what do we like to do? We like to pull the curtain back, and there's no secrets to being a superstar in whatever department you're with. 30,000 people or 30 people, it doesn't matter. If you take an interest in developing your conversational skills with everybody that you run across, you're really going to meet two kinds of people all day long: victims, potential victims, and storytellers, people with information. Give them a reason to unburden themselves and give you that information. The lost art of learning how to talk to people. Put the iPhone down. You're not going to solve any cases with the iPhone. You're going to solve cases by learning how to speak with people and getting people to tell you something that they don't want to tell you. I love being able to pass on effective tools. Every day you wake up, I'm going to be a little bit better than I was last week. I'm going to make a point to develop my conversation skills. I'm going to make a point to develop interviewing skills, interrogation skills, talk to the old people, talk to the old guys in the squad. They would love to tell you some things that work. I was always that guy that would get the older guys and gals, talk to me. I want to learn. Be coachable. They'll help you. And then you get to be that person doing it. And then you get to be the person helping out a younger, just on a job officer. Get them off on the right foot. Teach them the skills that they really need. How to talk to people. You have to learn that. That's what I say. Yeah.
Most of your off-duty, what I'll call entanglements, happened out of a uniform. I mean, ATF obviously branded vests, and you've got some less than covert, like you said, your truck lit up like a spaceship, and so did the Crown Vic. But this obsession with getting out of the bag so fast, right? Or the idolization of specialization with the disbanding of specialized units, say even in New York, right? But the obsession with getting out of the bag, right? Do you foresee a return to like a far superior level of generalist? Or are we actually field training? Should we invert the field training? Did we niche down at the wrong end of our careers?
No,
Should
I
we
think
become a specialist in one and then learn how to operate specifically in that, learn the articulation to then, as you grow into the role, become a superior patrol generalist towards the end of the career, towards the end of your career?
if you want to see one of the most effective members of any department, New York, Missoula, Montana, it doesn't matter. You take somebody that's been in uniform for 20 years and still is excited and still loves the job, still loves helping people out, still loves being just effective at talking to people and grabbing the bad guy. If you need some information, go grab the guy that's been in a bag or girl for 20 years working in an area. They know everything and they know everybody. They're literally a walking encyclopedia of everybody in that area, they know who the good people are. They know who the bad man is. They know. They just know. Look, whatever tact people take, I want to be a uniformed police officer for my entire career. So satisfying. People, hey, for whatever, a lot of good reasons, people like, hey, this has been great, but I need something more. Or I'm really interested in interviewing, interrogations, investigating crimes. They go into the detective bureau. And then within that, you get superstars that really get it, and they go into the homicide squads. They go into Joint Terrorism Task Force. All of these different units. There's literally something for everybody in a large police department. And if you're in a small police department, guess what? You got to be good at like 50 things, where you may be your own crime scene and arresting officer and investigating, and you're going to process, and you're going to do the interviews, and you're one person, and you're going to be doing everything, and you're going to be...
You're deputized to all these other units, or you're on loan to when the event arises.
Yeah.
Like when I got out here, it's like, okay, I heard folks, it's like, okay, I was on patrol, then I got called to go grab the K9. Then on Friday I was suited up with the bomb squad. It sounded absurd, but then I think back, it's like, wait a minute, why aren't we just a sea of blue? And you're deputized and you have the knowledge, right? You have the exposure to those things. But I don't know, maybe it's this specialty. I don't know what the obsession was with the specialty.
There's something for everybody. And after a certain number of years, water finds its own level. Just people get a burning desire for a particular type of investigative assignment, a particular type of uniform assignment. All the SWAT guys, emergency service, special response team, whatever the name is, all in uniform, but a very specialized role. And some people find they have a natural inclination. They have a natural talent for a particular role. And the happy member of the service is the productive member of the service. We do need, you're on a triple homicide. You know what? I need crime scene. I need a dedicated, professional, equipped unit to do everything that they do. If I need aviation, very specific trained unit, or a K9 for a article search or a missing kid or whatever. This never poo-pooed any specialization, because I did all kinds of specialized assignments, but I would get a little vexed. People that sought a particular assignment that had no business doing that assignment were, let's just say, less than fully professional, less than fully productive. And if somebody was, again, we use that term, paycheck cop, paycheck agent, in whatever they came from, they're not changing because they got put into a different assignment. Their attitude goes with them, unfortunately. And hey, attitude is everything. So whatever you're doing, just be the best at it. I told my kids, I don't care what you want to be in life, astronaut or a garbage man. I will support anything, but you're going to be the best at what you choose to do, because that's why you want to do it. You're interested in it. So you're going to be the best. You find out everything you need to know to be successful, and then find out all the other stuff you need to learn also to be mega successful. Be the best at whatever you do, and you too will not have a job. You'll have a situation that you can't wait to get to every day, and that described my career. I couldn't wait to get to work every day. I couldn't wait to get to the squad. I couldn't wait to what's going on today. We're just picking it right up from last night or something new. It was great. It was almost like a movie. Like the movie started when I got into the squad, or we started a civilian, and the credits rolled when I'm on the way home. And guess what? Tomorrow it gets to happen all over again. It was, nobody gets super rich unless you work in Suffolk County or Nassau, but you're going to have the best time that you allow yourself to have. It's a good way to put it. And if there comes a day where you're just disgusted and it's more than a day, it's like a week and then it's a month and you're just like, you're the angry person, hey, you may want to find something else to do. It's not the end of the world. It's not the only job in the world. Is something gonna be better for your situation? Because you're not going to be good for anybody here if you're a miserable person showing up to work every day. We've all seen a few of those. That train wreck never works out. And every day it gets to be a different version of the train wreck. We could almost do an entire debrief on that. Like, oh God, here's 20 stories of train wrecks that nobody's ever going to hear about, but Jesus, did that really just happen? That did happen. But there you have it. Some all over the place debrief tonight to kind of put a capper on it. Off-duty incidents. Be smart, be correct, be able to articulate why you did or didn't do something, and be smart about it. Because you know what? The bottom line is we all want to wake up to go to work another day, and we all want to be able to get home the way we left. So be smart and be safe. Protect yourself, protect your family at all times. Always have a smile when you're doing it. There's no reason this job can't be fun. I say that a lot. So there you have it. Another debrief in the can. Listen, we want to hear, you've heard enough of us tonight. We want to hear from you listeners. Please. We love the texting, the direct messages, the comments. What do you want to hear a debrief on? Or would you like to be a guest? We can make that happen too. We would love to make something like that happen. So if there's anything you heard tonight that really got you excited, got you fired up, good. We're doing our job. Reach out. We will do these episodes on anything that you would like to hear about. And maybe everybody would like to hear from you. Let us know. We're available. Got a little bit of extra time on my hands. I really don't, but I'll make the time. That's what I used to say. Hey, I got 100 things I need to do, but this just happened. I'll make the time. All right.